Hello friends, and welcome to this video, which is going to be loads and loads of gardening and a garden tour as well. I basically like to dabble in gardening. I did a garden tour last year as well for you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed it. But nevertheless, I've done loads and loads this year that's different to last year, and I've had a devastation, but I'll talk about that in a moment. But before any of that, I'd love for you to basically like this video if you like it and subscribe to my channel. Even though it's summer break and my 4-year-old is basically off school for more than 2 months because he's starting school in mid-September for some reason, but basically it's very much been a balance and the challenge. I'm working in digital marketing, I also do this on the side, and I've got my kid to look after as well. So basically all of that combined, I really do hope that you still enjoy my content, especially it gives you a laugh and a smile once a day, and if it does, I'd love for you to join my community. Thank you already so much for hitting that 15,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. It means so much to me, and it's all thanks to you guys, so I really do appreciate it. So basically, without further ado, this video is going to be a combination of things. So firstly, I've been collating videos and basically filming things that I've been doing in the garden already in the past months. Yes, it's already been quite hot, but I feel like this year I've been late to the party gardening due to time restrictions. Basically, I'm just busy. I'm doing stuff all the time, and also energy. So basically, enough of making excuses. What I'm gonna do is basically show you the videos that I've already got, because I've been planting some really great stuff. However, I'm going to ruin it already by saying that a lot of those things haven't worked out, and the reason for that is because I had an infestation of slugs and snails. And what I've actually done is, without trying to be mean to them and just chuck them away into a bin, which I unfortunately have done in the past, I actually started collecting them in a bucket and took that bucket to a nearby forest that I go dog walking day in, day out, and I let them loose. I was like, well, if nothing else, maybe it'll be good source of food to toads and maybe hedgehogs out there in the wild. So that's me hoping for the best, rather than the fact that they might slide their way back into our gardens. So basically that was my humane way of trying to save them. But literally I had buckets and buckets full of these slugs and snails, so they've ravished everything. They've eaten my crops, and unfortunately I had to start from scratch, and some I'm going to start again from scratch today, even though it's late summer, but I'm going to give it a go. Some things have still worked out and are doing really well for me, and also I've had help from my I nearly said granddad, from my father-in-law, basically Aiden's granddad, who basically helped me with some plants, and especially when it came to tomatoes and lovely beautiful flowers as well. So basically I will take you through a tour and give you a tour of my garden at the end of this video. But first, let's start doing the productive stuff. I'm gonna go back in time, show you all that stuff, and then I'll meet you in today and do some more productive things around the garden. So it's a couple of weeks later, and I know I told you that I'm probably going to show you everything in one go. However, it didn't happen. Probably is better if I leave it a couple of weeks and actually show you the fruitfulness of my labour. So now I'm going to give you a tour, a garden tour. I'm going to turn you around and then talk you through everything that I've got in the garden. So let's start off with this lovely fuchsia. It's actually flowers, and it did flower a number of times already. I got this from my dad-in-law, and basically it looked lovely in that pot as well. Like, I only used a jar because I ran out of pots and stuff, like an actual plant pot. But yeah, I think it looks nice. And then you can see my artichokes are humongous. I actually cut them where the fence was, but they've obviously grown in like a few weeks time already, so they're doing really well. We do water them often, and once basically the summer is up in the autumn time, what I'm going to do is actually cut those down and then take the artichokes from the ground and actually eat those. They're the Jerusalem artichokes, so actually they're in the ground, and they look a little bit like potatoes. So I'm looking forward to trying out some recipes with them later on. I've never actually tried an artichoke from what I remember. So yeah, basically very excited to be growing these, and thanks to a local lady who gave me basically some bulbs in the springtime. So that's super fun. I've got a couple of tomato planters. This is a thanks to my dad-in-law as well. So basically he gave me these like plant pots basically, but they're not pots, they're like bags, I guess. Very good to grow veggies in them, and actually my tomatoes are looking really nice, and I've been having them with my lunches. I've had salads, I've had them in wraps, and basically I'm really happy with basically my homegrown tomatoes. They're delicious. They actually taste better than they do in the shop, and actually they're quite low maintenance. As long as you water them every single day when it's not raining, then they're actually doing really well. I've got a couple more on the other side of the garden that I will show you in a sec, but basically this is my second tomato planter, which basically we used some wooden sticks basically just to give them a little bit more support. So I've tied them up where they might need it, and yeah, essentially that's how it's looking, and it's very abundant with those tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, big tomatoes, and I've even got some yellow tomatoes growing as well. So turning around, being distracted by the pooch who is so sweet and lovely, and basically there's more tomato planters. So the ones that are in the ground are actually looking a little bit sorry for themselves, but the ones I'm showing you now are different sort of tomatoes. They are the yellow ones, and they're more bushy. So if anybody has any ideas of how to actually give them support and the support that they need, I'm looking forward to actually working with that next year, and actually, I don't know, trying out a different method, because they just seem very droopy, this sort. The ones in the ground looking a bit disheveled, but I keep watering them, and actually they're doing well still. They're still producing some tomatoes, which I've already taken off. I've got one big one left on the right hand side there, but yeah, looking good. So tomatoes is definitely a yes from me, and it's something I'm going to do hopefully every year running now. I did wonder whether to also put them in like a veggie black bag like the others as well, because they seem to be doing better in those. This is my bay leaf tree. So once again, I also cut it where the fence was, but actually over a couple of months, it's grown super loads. And these bay leaves are absolutely delicious. I've roast chicken with them. I cook rice with them and things like that. So basically adds a lot more flavour, and I'm just so grateful to have this bush there. Then I've got some geraniums and a pine tree, or like a bush, on the left hand side that I used to have at the front of my house, but actually one of them died, so I've replaced them with something else. But yeah, basically the geraniums are looking really good. They are coming to the end of their season, it looks like, by their petals. Like these ones are not looking too bad, but the other two that I've got are looking a little bit disheveled. Then I've got Rocket. So I also have a tortoise at home, and Rocket is a must for a tortoise. She absolutely gobbles it up. I've got dill in this pot here, but I think I'm probably going to get rid of basically this plant pot because it's not doing very well, and the dill didn't really come out that nice either. Basically, it seems a little bit anemic to me. So if there's any tips for that, do let me know. Yeah, so my geraniums are looking a little bit worse for wear, but that's okay. And then basically on the right hand side of that are my raspberry bushes, my new ones. So my husband thought he'd treat me, and he got me a blueberry bush and then 2 raspberry bushes. So the blueberry bush I will actually plant with you today. I'll show you later on in this video. And then the raspberry bushes I'll need to do another time when I have got the time. But basically I am very desperate to have raspberries and blueberries and everything, and strawberries. We are absolutely loving those fruits, especially with our breakfasts. There's a random plant for you, no idea where it came from, but I think it's poisonous for dogs, so I'm going to get rid of it. But it's beautiful anyway. It's very strange looking. We've got a couple of like bird feeders. There's supposed to be a water in the water bath, but unfortunately there's not. It's my husband that's looking after that section. But yeah, moving on. We had to cut down basically some, like a bush that was also poisonous to dogs, so we cut that down, but I'm going to get rid of the root when I can. It's easier to get rid of the root when it's rainier season, so basically I'm waiting for that. I've got 2 mint plants that I've just shown you. They love water as well, and then strawberries that I'm making other baby strawberries, which I will repot in, well, once I come back from a holiday from Disneyland. But yeah, basically my strawberries are doing really well. One of them is fruiting again because I got rid of the babies basically, so that it gives us more fruit. And then some are doing really nice babies for us, so that we can keep on carrying on having these strawberries, which should be a lot of fun in the coming years as well. So my son absolutely loves to pick the strawberries, and I myself love it with my porridge in the mornings. So this is my pumpkin. This one's a pumpkin. It's a little bit droopy, but actually it was doing well. I'm gonna ruin the enchantment for you guys though, but the slugs have come back, or at least one slug came back and actually ruined this pumpkin for me. I was devastated. It ate some of my radishes as well, sadly, but some of the radishes are coming back, so at least that's something. The beetroot's growing really nicely, so I'm showing you the beetroot right now, and actually that's growing well, and it wasn't ravaged, which is good. In the middle, I think is parsnip, and I think there's a couple more coming out, but this it's not seen on the video today. But these are the radishes basically. They're quite hardy in the sense that they do have like come back, and they grow quite easily, so I do recommend those for beginners especially, like myself. And then that's a courgette. So this is like the 5th one or the 6th that I'm trying to plant, and each time the slugs are getting to it. So basically fingers crossed. I don't know whether it's too late in the season, but I would love a courgette or 2 maybe next year, guys, right? Because like it's already getting a little bit colder, we can feel it in the air, but still I'm glad to have some fruits and vegetables in my garden anyway. It's just been a lot of fun, and I'm really grateful to have such space to be able to play around with these things. I'm looking forward to in the coming years when I can do more with it, create more space. And actually I thought next year, maybe instead of doing it in the ground because of my situation with the slugs, perhaps I'll do them all in like those vegetable sacks, I just thought, well, maybe it's easier to maintain that way, and I'll keep the environment around nice and healthy. But yeah, anyway, so this is what I've mentioned around trying to sort out a section for my blueberry bush. So basically, because we had to change our car, so long story short, we have a roof box, or like a car box, which is basically in the garden with like a sheet over it. But I'm showing you here a number of times when I found more slugs, more snails, and this could be where they're all coming from. But yeah, anyway, I've put them in the buckets to save them and put them in the forest again. But yeah, basically I moved that along. I'm going to clean up the ground, and then I'm going to basically plant my blueberry bush. I did have to use specific soil for that too. So if you are doing any blueberry growing, make sure that you know it needs acidic soil. So basically, that's where I'm going to finish up. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me and watching. If you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. Thanks for stopping by, friends, and I will see you very soon.